The state of artificial intelligence is just getting wild, and a lot of people are very scared about it, and I think you have absolute reason to be concerned. There's some things that it can do that previously it couldn't do. You know, it used to be that seeing something meant that it was real, that hearing something meant that it was real. If it was recorded, you know that was for sure. Dash cam footage, cell phone footage of like something crazy happening used to mean something. But now in the year 2023, with the rise of artificial intelligence, it doesn't mean anything. You could have a recording of somebody, you could have video footage of someone, and because of the ability of AI to generate its own video, audio, and manuscripts, that stuff doesn't mean anything. What we think it meant and what we thought it used to prove now is kind of thrown out. And I'm going to show you some interesting examples here that may scare you at first, but if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you why I think you should be thinking about this in a different way. The thing I'm talking about is called deepfakes. And if you haven't heard of deepfakes, deepfakes are when you take something that is real and you put somebody else's face on it. So maybe you've got this, footage of someone beating up somebody else, right? AI can take your face and put it on the face of that person who's beating the other person up and then say, look, this person is a violent, aggressive individual who can't, control themselves. So let me give you a little bit of an example here. This is actually from, this is only 9 days ago actually, but this stuff has been around for years, but it's getting to the point where it's almost indistinguishable. You really can't tell the difference. And I'm going to show you. The person you're about to see is not Tom Cruise.
Isn't always believing.
I'm gonna show you some magic.
That's not Tom Cruise.
Not Tom Cruise.
It's the real thing.
That's wild. And this is not Zelensky.
Ukrainian president calling for his citizens to surrender.
We're entering an era in which
This is not Barack Obama.
our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
And that's a fake Obama.
It's crazy. And there's just more and more of these, and they talk about it for a little while. You can see the name of the show right here if you want to look it up. These are all what's called deepfakes, and some of them are more convincing than others, but as we progress with AI, being able to generate things so quickly, it's harder and harder to distinguish what's real and what's not. So I want to put this out there because you need to be warned. It's really becoming more and more imperative that you are informed and that you're critical and judgmental of these things, and you don't just accept things that are given to you as fact because they may not be fact. And I think the beginning of this started with TikTok, when a bunch of us therapists like myself got onto TikTok because there's so much bullshit information, and there was so much information given by people who were not qualified to give that information and didn't know what they were talking about. They were sharing their personal experience as if it was an educated opinion, which it was not. And so this is the continuation of that. That was human beings do it. This is artificial intelligence doing it. Now, the limitation in the past was that it took a long time to generate these type of things. But the state of AI today has gotten so fast, and the technology and the computing power has gotten so rapid that it can make things real time. It's recently been discontinued, like they stopped it, but there was a stream called Watch Me Forever, and it was an AI generated Seinfeld episodes that never end. It was like one continuous Seinfeld episode. And so I actually have a snippet of it over here that you can watch, but this was all generated in real time. The jokes were made in real time. Now, they're not really funny, but I feel like as you watched it, it got better. And some of the jokes actually they got a chuckle. And it wasn't bad. It was like listening to your 7-year-old cousin tell you a joke, right? Some of them are good. Some of them just don't make any sense. That's what it is. But you can imagine how much this is going to improve over time. So let's watch this for like a second. This is Watch Me Forever, Seinfeld.
Hey, Larry, do you know what time Yvonne is supposed to show up today?
You kind of got the laugh track wrong on that.
Wow, I had no idea. But if I were to guess, I'd say she'll be here any minute now.
You think so?
It's making this real time.
Hey,
the
you
images
too.
and everything.
I'm here. Surprise.
Haha, you got me. I wasn't expecting you so soon.
Phew, glad you made it.
And so it's weird, but we've never been able to make things that fast in real time. It's generating the scenery, it's generating the image, it's generating the laugh track, it's generating the dialogue. The whole thing is being artificially created, which is absolutely Wild. Now, it goes a little bit further than this. Here's something really kind of concerning. There's a great tool out there that can take just a few seconds, even up to, I think it's a minute of audio. If I give that artificial intelligence a minute of audio, it can write anything you want that voice to say. So one kind of terrible example is there's a video floating around of Obi-Wan Kenobi saying unspeakable sexual acts with Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano from the Star Wars galaxy. And it sounds spot on. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to totally get like canceled off of YouTube, but you can hear how close it sounds. Listen to this.
Luke, did I ever tell you about Ahsoka Tano? She was your father's exotic teenage alien apprentice, a fine piece of jailbait from a more civilized age. She had the tightest body and the perkiest little...
We'll stop there. You can imagine perky little what's. But you can see what's insane about this is they've gotten so good. I mean, you used to have computer-generated voices, right? And it sounded like Siri, and it sounded like, you know, the old text-to-speech on Microsoft computers or Apple computers, right? But now it's gotten so good. The breaths are there, the cadence is there, the intonation, right? And even the tone of voice, as in the emotion that is being portrayed through that vocalization, is all spot on. The AI has compiled such a massive amount of data that it's able to deliver an incredibly convincing thing. Now, here's what you need to know, and I'm going to say this first. This allows people to create audio recordings of people they don't want to, well, they want to do bad things to. Imagine that you have a neighbor that you don't particularly like, or let's imagine that your narcissistic ex-boyfriend wants to really smear you. He can go and write a text, right? Let's say something incredibly racist. He can take a minute of audio that he's recorded from a phone conversation with you. He can put that into the artificial intelligence machine, write something incredibly racist, and then have the AI generate you saying these racist comments, take it to other people and say, listen to what my ex-girlfriend used to say. And how would they know unless they knew the state of artificial intelligence the way that it is? And I want to get out ahead of this and say, you know, there's a huge potential for me as a content creator for this to be used against them as well. I mean, if you hear something incredibly racist or something incredibly wrong from me that just doesn't fit my personality, I mean, you know me pretty well. You can bet that it was generated with artificial intelligence. Because I would imagine if someone wanted to be mean to me, hurt my family, or, you know, demonetize my platform, they could go and create some kind of racist comment, some kind of like totally inappropriate, maybe even sexual comment about my clients, and say, listen to Jesse Lyon, he says these sexual things about his clients, and it's not true at all. And so let it be known today, February 7th, before any of this stuff happens, I know that this is a potential, and I'm saying I'm aware of it. It's not me. Right? And I know it's not you, but I think you should be warned as well. And a lot of streamers have had this happen to them for sure. One of the biggest things, as we talked about with the deepfakes, is a lot of people will make pornography. And so they'll make pornography using the face of somebody else. And so there's been several videos that have gone around the internet where they took the face of a streamer that they liked and put it on the face of someone doing pornographic acts. So it looked like they had leaked their OnlyFans or leaked content from their social media, or we got their iPhone photos and videos that were secret. And it's not true. It's just not true at all. And so the damage that this can do is big. But I think we need to talk about the second direction that it can go. Not only can people be convinced that things happened when they didn't, but imagine if somebody said something incredibly racist and it was real, that person could then claim, no, that wasn't me. That was a deep fake. That was AI generated. It causes a distrust in both directions. You can't trust the audio recording that you heard, and it allows the creator or the person to deny that they actually said these things and be able to say, oh, I wasn't racist. That's a deep fake, when maybe it actually was their voice and they got busted, but it's a new out for them. So you have to see it has difficult potentials on both sides. And I think you're going to see more and more of this stuff coming up in court, more and more of this stuff coming up in the public eye and in pop culture. It's just the state of the world right now. And, you know, I had someone on the Discord talk about how scary this is. And if you're not part of the Discord community, there's a link down below where you can join. And I explained to them, yes, it may seem scary right now, but here's the grand reveal kind of at the end. Human evolution can never be stopped. And I know that these things are scary, but this happens over and over again. What we're experiencing now is nothing new in the state of humanity. When we first discovered fire, that was scary. When we first discovered electricity, that was scary. When we first discovered gunpowder, that was scary. When we first found these rocks called steel that we can make into swords and weapons, that was scary. We thought about, oh, the world's over, we're going to end. When we first discovered nuclear power, we had this huge fear and this huge explosion of chaos because we're like, uh-oh, this is the end of humanity. We're going to destroy ourselves. But humanity has always found a way. When there's new technology and when there's a new discovery, there's the potential for it to be misused, and there is a danger, but humanity always finds a way to care for it, to limit it, and to be kind to one another. And I do have faith that the amount of good in the world is larger than the amount of bad in the world, and that they do balance each other out, and bad and terrible things absolutely do happen. But we're going to continue on. Right now, this technology is new and it's very scary, and I know that you may feel scared and nervous about it as well. But we're going to find a way to move on. We're going to understand how to use it productively and efficiently and how to care for each other and ourselves. Because think about it too. In the past, it's been very much obvious that those who have symmetrical faces or pretty features have been the ones that rise to the top. With AI, now it doesn't matter. You can hide behind whatever face that you want, and your message is not limited by how you look. Right? If you don't have access to healthcare standards, beauty products, or the privileges that other people do, now your message can be delivered through something that appeals and that doesn't take away from your message. And so in some ways, it does kind of level the playing field. And that's a wonderful benefit that it has. People who maybe couldn't speak before and couldn't communicate in really passionate and effective ways, somebody who's totally mute can now use Obi-Wan Kenobi or Morgan Freeman's voice to deliver their powerful message and impact the world where before maybe no one would listen to him because they could only write it down. Think about if Stephen Hawking's lectures would now have been generated through artificial intelligence and could be delivered with an impassioned and convicting emphasis on the words and an emotional presentation. How much more impactful and how many more people would have heard his groundbreaking discoveries? So this is interesting stuff, and I think it has wonderful and positive potential, but you should be warned that things that you thought were real may not be so real anymore. That's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoy. Bye.